Hey everybody, this is NavyBlueGamer. Welcome back to more Plants vs. Zombies! Something I actually forgot to address. In level 4-6, we actually got the puzzle selection, which features Vasebreaker and iZombie. We've seen Vasebreaker before, but we haven't seen iZombie. At least not yet. We'll talk about that when we get to it, because I'm pretty sure we will soon enough. I believe. So yeah, I figured I'd at least show off this page and show you that those are dedicated to the puzzle levels. I want to check out the achievements real quick, because one of the achievements that we can get is Grounded. Defeat a normal roof level without using any catapult plants. I want to actually tackle that in level 5-1, because it's honestly the easiest one to take care of that with.
Whoa! They even found a way onto your roof! Those are some persistent zombies, dude. Don't need to use cabbage pulls here due to your roof's angle. Remember that and you're good to go.
Alright, well, we can't afford to use cabbage pole right now. I mean, what's the point? Because we have sunflower and we have the repeater, right? Well, as Crazy Dave was mentioning, he actually has some sense because if you try to use pea shooters when it's like on the lower level, it actually can't get to the zombies because, well, it's out of its line of sight. So that's something really interesting to consider. The jalapeno will actually work just fine though, so we'll make sure to have him on our team. Not the pumpkin. I'm skipping out on the cabbage pole just for this levels, just for the purposes of that achievement, because honestly, this is just the easiest level to take care of it with. Potato mines are still useful for the early parts of it, but it's not as useful as within just the regular daytime stages. You'll see why in just a moment. And then, because of the setup I'm going for, the tall nut's actually not going to do me any good. And yeah, okay, so I'll have the spikeweed. Spikeweed. And I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm actually curious to know how the cactus would do. So I'm curious to know what the cactus would do. So I'll have you there just in case. And then the chomper just for good measure. Okay. So yeah. So we have these pots here. These planting pots here. If I get a chance to show it off, you can't actually plant anything on the regular roof. You need the flower pots in order to be able to do anything to them. So we're in the middle layer here, so we'll go ahead and set you right there in preparation for that zombie. And we have to squash if we need it, but I think we'll be fine. But yes. Okay, we will definitely need to use the squash for the next one, so I'll make sure I have 50 sun at the ready. Yeah, I'm still going to use the same strategy for the sunflowers in the back here, since we have the space for it after all. But yes, we have built up enough where we could use that. But I think I'd rather just have the squash, which I'll plant as it gets pretty close to it. Just because I want to build up just that much more sun before we begin here. Okay, so that should be fine. Okay, so we have a healthy amount, so we'll see what zombies come at us next. Cool, so we'll plant you there to begin on that row. And then once I get a full row of repeaters, I'll see what the cactus decides to do on a lower level. Yeah, when it's on a high enough elevation, as you see here, the repeater has no problem attacking it, so. Okay, no, it doesn't raise itself. I figured I'd check at least. It was worth checking at least. That was the reason I wanted to grab the pumpkin. Oh, these guys. The bungee zombies. It will put itself a target. And just... it will plant itself a target. Where whatever it targets it will try and take the plants that it has come into contact in with it. So, yeah, that's pretty fantastic. I can actually have the chompers behind them, but we're almost done with the level, so there's not really much of a point to it, really. I'll try the next level up. See what that does. Can I attack it just fine? Nope. So it's literally just the, just this row then. So I'm glad I had the cactus to test that out with, at least. Have the chomper ready to chomp. And I'll have you there. This works out really nicely. Alright. Awesome. Okay, so you should be fine. You I'm not so sure about. So I'm gonna wait for you guys to get close. And it can't even notice it. Perfect. Alright. Jalapeno it is. Boom. And then we get our next plant, which is a flower pot. Yeah, you thought they were just flower pots? No, these are actual plants. But yeah, as you can see, we got the achievement Grounded Earned, which, honestly, this level's the easiest one to do it with, so just do yourself a favor and just do that. And just do it then. Yeah, we get the flower pot, which lets you plant on a roof. Yeah, these plants are a flower pot, but they're also a plant.
Hey neighbor, got some new items for sale.
Open it up. Woo! Okay, so we can see that the roof cleaners add an extra line of defense for those difficult roof levels. Oh goodness, I wasn't paying attention to it, but I believe that you actually don't even have lawnmowers at the start of it. So you're going to want to buy these here. Like, even if you're trying to save up for, like, the nine slots for the seeds, buy this, please. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it'll just save you so much more stress. Okay, so we got 2 new plants here. Of course, I will not be going over them right away, but just know this one's really nice for collecting money. So this one's has a nice return investment, but we'll talk about that when we get there because we are not there yet. That's all I wanted to talk about in the shop. We've got the achievement. Now we're ready to talk about the cabbage pole and, well, we kind of already talked about the flower pot, but yeah. Okay, so of course we're not going to want to use the repeaters or like any sort of pea shooters for that matter. We're going to want to use cabbage poles. We're going to want the flower pots so we can actually plant stuff on top of them. Have some defensive plants at the ready. And then just some last resort plants as well. So I can see we have some buckethead zombies, so that's going to be a joy to deal with. But I think we'll be fine. And then, what's the last one I can use? Torchwood's not going to do us any good. Mushrooms, of course, are not going to do us any good. However, we might get a chance to use the mushrooms later. So, just something to keep in mind. Oh, potato mine. Duh. To help out in the beginning. Cool. Alright, so we have sunflowers and the flower pots. So the flower pots are helpful for building up further defenses because, as you notice, we went from 5 rows of pots down to just 4. So being able to plant these flower pots will allow us to plant more plants, which is very helpful indeed. But because that's also further back, that helps out with the potato mine business. So I'm going to wait to build anything further than 4 until I get some nice cabbage pults going. And then from there, we'll just figure it out. Alright. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Oof. Yeah, these levels are actually not too bad. Here, and we got that one just in time for that zombie to appear in that row. Something I forgot to talk about is we went from 6 rows back down to 5, so we don't have to deal with 5 rows. But yeah. I don't think I mentioned that in the last. I don't think I mentioned that in the last level, so I figured I'd point it out in this one. Okay, let's go ahead and show off the actual cabbage pole since we didn't do that in the last episode. So these guys have no trouble attacking from the slopes because it just catapults you from above, and it's kind of like an airstrike, if you will. Not really, it's just kind of like a cannon fire if you want to equate it more to that. But now it's about here that I start building up further defenses here. I don't need any more of those right now. I'll start doing that as early as 1 row sunflowers, if it's necessary. I'll show it off in just a minute. Yeah, that will be good. Oh, one more thing about the cabbage bolts is that they actually do twice the amount of damage as a regular pea shooter. So, that's pretty neat. So I can actually plant a pumpkin on top of that for another defensive option here. I'll have you ready to attack. And then we should be fine for now, so I'll just plant you right there to have you going. Nice. Alright. Yeah. Everything's going pretty well. I have a bit of an embarrassing story I could tell. I don't know if I want to tell that right now, though. Here's a different story I could tell. I was saving this story for a bit further in, but it's one of my favorite stories, and I just love telling it. I love telling this story to people. Okay, so just as a refresher, I do study music. I go to college for music. So, you don't really need to understand music to get the gist of the story. However, the main reason I point this out is that I was in all-county for music. What that basically means is that I had to audition to get into the band in a county oh my goodness, I had to audition to be placed into a band within the county, within the state of Florida. Oh my goodness. And then I also have an all-state version, but I never made it into all-state band. I made it into all-state choir, but that'll be a story for another time. Anyway, So I made it into all-county band. This was my junior year of high school. We did a few really cool pieces, but the piece that stands out to me is we did Maslanka's Symphony No. 8, Movement 3. I encourage you to look up the piece on your own time because the piece is wonderful, and it's honestly one of my favorite pieces to this day, regardless of whether the story happened or not. But this story just makes it that much more memorable. So I have the bass drum part, which is pretty uneventful except for a certain instance in the middle of the piece and then towards the very end, where it's just like a huge moment. The part I want to talk about is in the middle of the piece. So it's in the middle of a fairly slow section, and it's mostly woodwinds during the slow section, and then we have the low brass kicking in just to have like a little powerful effect. And then there's one point where we have a cannon shot, which basically you play the bass drum in such a way that it sounds like a cannon. You typically slam it at the center of the head, give it kind of like a thud kind of sound, make it sound like a cannon, fire. Well, during one of the rehearsals that we're doing, we get to that part, and the guy the clinician was just like, I want you to hit that thing in such a way that it just resonates within the entire hall. And so I'm getting ready to go for it, and the part comes up, and I hit it, and it created a wonderful thud. It was just like, yes, that was awesome. But something else even better happened. The mallet that I used was a bass drum mallet, of course, but the mallet head popped off of the shaft and flew all the way across the stage, and I didn't know this at the time, but according to someone else who was there and witnessed the event, I actually hit a French horn player, or at least come close to it. And it just flew all the way across the stage. And the only disappointing thing about that story is that it did not happen during the concert. Otherwise, I would have given you the link to that video so you could see it for yourself. Unfortunately, it was only during a rehearsal, and I have no such video of that particular event happening. Which is a shame, because it was hilarious. But, apparently, like, people remember that from All County, so I became kind of like a legend, if you will. Which is just the funniest thing. But yeah, that's my story. That's my story on Maslanka Symphony No. 8 Movement 3. It is one of my favorite pieces, regardless of the event that happened, so... Yeah, I had fun with it, though. If you're looking to listen to, like, other music of the sort, I can suggest some other ones for you, if you're interested in that. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to that. Alright, so I've just kind of been doing my own thing. I've just kind of been mindlessly just playing the game. You'll notice that I have been doing a fortified defense. I have the tall nuts in the front with the... I'm going to plant you there because you have more zombies to deal with. But I've been doing tall nuts with pumpkins as an added defense. Which means the zombies will just be sitting there chipping away at it for a while. So, yeah. I can get rid of you and fire you off. I'll get rid of you to fire you off. And there we go. We get the kernel pulse, I believe is what this thing is called. A kernel pulse. Yes, flings corn kernels and butter at zombies. Now, the kernel pulse is not as powerful. Oh, ladder zombies. Ha ha. That's gonna be fun. Okay. That's alright, we'll make it through just fine. Okay, anyway, the kernel pulse is not as powerful as the cabbage pulse for most of its damage. We're going to use both of them so that we can use them in conjunction, because the kernel pulse, despite not doing as much damage, does have something else to it that we will see in just a moment. So we'll get you guys, the squash, and the potato mine. Okay, that should work. Now we're restricted to just 3 rows, and this is the limit that it will stop at. It won't be a jerk and be like, you can't have any rows starting off. No, it'll always have at least 3 rows at the start. So, well, from this point forward, it'll just be 3 rows to start with. So don't worry, they're not that big of jerks. Only sometimes. I do want a flower pot here. And then potato mine to go there. That'll work. Perfect. Alright. I hear you, zombie. Don't worry. And we'll go ahead and get some more flower pots going. And yeah. Okay. I really hope you guys have been enjoying this series. It's honestly been a lot of fun just playing through this game again. And don't worry, I'll be showing off everything that you can do in this game. I won't just be doing the main campaign. I just want to talk about it now because we are coming close to the end of the main campaign. So, oh, I never set that up. Oh well. Once he gets close enough, I will plant you and the flower pot. Boom. There we go. And then I'll have you there, just so I can build up some more sun. Because I want to have actually 6 rows of pots this time. So I want to keep building that up. And I can start planting the cabbage pulse and the kernel pulse. But I'm going to wait to plant them until I know which zombies we're coming across in the next wave. See? Because we have a conehead zombie right there. But yeah, yeah, those ladder zombies are not going to be very fun to deal with. I can tell you that much. Let me go ahead and do that, because I do want the 6th row to be of the tall nuts. Mainly so I can show that off. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do one of the kernel pulse as well. And he flings kernel at the zombies, which doesn't do as much damage as the cabbage. But on occasion, if you'd be so willing to show it off, I said, thank you. It actually flings a thing of butter, which completely stops the zombie in its tracks for a moment, which can be very helpful, which is why I want to set up 2 rows of kernel bolts to have that at the ready. And then the second row will eventually have pumpkins over them as well, in anticipation of the ladder zombie, which we'll come across in just a moment. So we'll do that. And we're just getting everything all set for when we're coming across it. Now, if multiple things of butter were to hit a zombie at once, the effects of it, as far as I know, doesn't stack. However, it does reset the timer, so it'll still keep the zombie stopped in its tracks for a little while. Yeah, you can see the kernel pulse, having 2 rows of those can actually be very beneficial, especially since it's not totally uncommon to have the... Especially since it's not totally uncommon for the butter to appear. So, yeah, that's pretty sweet. Bum 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 ba-da-dum 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 ba-da. Yep, here's the zombie itself. Oh, but the butter stops it, and... Oh, is it not gonna get... You have to show it off because it's gonna be stalled? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so what... I don't know if I'll get a chance to show it off in this level, but... the ladder zombies are designed to get around the tall nuts. Like, completely designed to. They're actually designed to get around any defensive plants, period. Which is the reason why I want to have a layer of pumpkins covering the kernel pulse in case any of the ladder zombies do get to go over the tall nuts. Once a ladder is placed, it is permanently there unless if you remove the plant that it has been affected on, and then replace it, and then replace the plant. That's why I want to get these set up as early as I can in the events that... Oh, am I going to get to show it off? In case that does happen. And he's just stuck up there. That's funny. Ah! Anyway, I'm going to take that away. And boom. Okay. But you can see it kind of just goes right over it. And yeah. The ladder will be left there. I don't know if I'll get a chance to show it off, but any zombie can actually use that ladder to their advantage. So, yeah, so that's why I try to set these guys up as early as I can, so that when it comes time for the ladder zombies to come in, I'll already have a tall nut fully recharged, so I could just completely refresh it. Because the tall nut, it just becomes kind of worthless if a ladder's on top of it, so we need to fix that. Bum 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 bum. And then we have a nice line of defense going on right here. Alright. I'm trying to think of another music story I can tell. There is a story that sticks out to me, but I have to ask for permission to tell that story. It has to do with my senior year of marching band. Oh boy, was I not happy. Oh boy, was I not happy about it. That's all I will say on that. That's that. Well, oh boy, was I not happy about the story. That's all I'll say on that one. Yeah, everything worked out really well. Alright, you do your thing. Perfect. And boom. Oh, this is the plant that I was talking about earlier. The coffee bean. Planted on a mushroom to wake it up. Guess what we're gonna use? Okay, well first off we're gonna use these guys as normal. But then we're gonna use the coffee bean. And you'll notice that when I put the coffee bean on, all of the mushroom plants get lit up again. Because now that we have the coffee bean, we can plant it on top of the mushroom that we want to use it on to wake them up. We're using the magnet shroom. You can probably see why. You can probably see why. Yeah, okay. Because you could probably see why, we're going to use the tall nut, but we're not going to use the pumpkin, because we don't really have as much of a use for it. So we'll go ahead and get started. I forgot to actually get a, I meant to get a one. Okay, you know what, actually, I can show this off real quick, because I haven't yet. So we can actually pause by going to the menu. We have a few options here. We can view the almanac from this, but we're going to not do that. But we can restart the level, which allows us to restart it from the beginning. I didn't actually show that off yet, but I figured since I did make that goof, might as well show it off then. So we'll get you guys, and then I actually want the potato mine. I don't really need the squash. We'll be fine without it. Alright, now let's actually begin, and not misplant the first plant this time. Yeah, I mean, not that it really mattered, but still. Alright. So this is level 5-4. Yeah. The coffee bean plus the magnet shroom does end up coming to 175 sun, but honestly, that's not too bad. So we'll plant you there, and plus you, get you going. Perfect. Alrighty. Not yet. I want to build up some more sunflowers, and inadvertently, based off that logic, more sun, because that's always nice to have. Now I'm still gonna have 6 rows, like I did last time, but I'm going to have the magnet shrooms in the 5th row, and that's to deal with the ladder and the bucket head and the football zombies as well. I didn't talk about this yet, but the football zombies are indeed also affected by the magnet shrooms. I want to make sure I have them as close as I can to the zombies without putting them in direct danger of them. So yeah. I just want to make sure I have those at the ready. We have 3 large waves coming up, so we're going to be here for a little while. Okay, you know what? I probably will tell the embarrassing story, but I'm going to wait a little bit on that. I've probably said that plenty of times at this point. You're tired of hearing me say that, but hey, it's okay. We're working on it. Spadow! Okay, still working everything forward. Oh, actually, I'm gonna want 7 rows, aren't I? Because I do want that firepower as a thing. I'm just contemplating. No, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. So I'll go ahead and plant the tall nut right now. I'll plant a magnet shroom with coffee bean. It wakes up, and it is now in use for as long as it's alive. So heck yeah, we'll take it. And then the next one will probably go in the middle. But yeah, it'll stay asleep until it's waken up by the coffee bean, but just like this. Woohoo! Doom 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 doom. Yeah, eventually we'll end up building enough sun that I could probably have another row of kernel bolts. So I think it's gonna be fine. So I'll plant you there. I'll plant a kernel bolt next. Yeah, because we have 3 large waves to deal with, so it's gonna be a while before we even need to worry about the end of the level. One last thing I should probably talk about is the fact that In level 2, we have the gravestones that the zombies can appear out of. In levels 3 and 4, we had the water that the zombies can appear from. In level 5, the zombies can appear anywhere, in terms of the final wave. I should probably clarify. So, yeah, there's basically gravestones everywhere that you cannot get rid of. Or if you want to think of it this way, water everywhere, but that zombies can be planted on top of. But yeah, look at that. I mean, we have tall enough so they wouldn't be able to get over anyway, but the ladder zombie can definitely put a damper on that. So, that's why we want to have those at the ready. So we'll have you there. We're building up a nice amount of sun here. Wake up that. Wake up that right there. I'll have you at the ready. Wake you up. And we've got a full row of magnet shrooms. Is this overkill? Maybe. But, because of the cooldown time it takes for the magnet shroom to get rid of its item after attracting it, I'd rather just not have to worry about it altogether. Okay. Oh, see, look at that. Ladder zombie. And it's rendered useless. Haha! You can't plant, or you can't put down your ladder on my plant today. So yeah, that's cool. Alright, I'll begin the process of replacing this row here with the kernel pulse, now that we have the sun to do so. Oh, I should have waited a little bit. Oh well. We'll be fine. Oh, that's interesting. The butter actually doesn't affect the pogo zombies. I didn't know that. Or at least I didn't observe that until just now. That's interesting. Because we have the tall nuts in case we need to replace any, which might actually happen as a result of them, as a result of them eating it away rather than having to replace it because of a ladder. Which, by the way, speaking of that, if there's a placed ladder and then a magnet shroom is able to retrieve that placed ladder, it makes the tall nuts viable again. So that's another reason I would have them planted as close up front as I could. So you have this going for us. And yeah. I mean, what we could probably do, build up some more sun, like get up to about maybe 1500-ish. Replace this back row with the cabbage pults, and then we're all set for the rest of the level, really. I mean, there's no real reason to keep the sunflowers the entire time. I mean, as long as you have the stockpile of sun to replace plants as you need to, there's not really any reason to have them. That is, until we get to later on, which we won't experience in this episode at least. Yeah, we're at 875, 900, 925. Yeah, I'd say we're pretty in the clear right now. There's a pogo zombie. Yeah, the butter doesn't affect it. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing to note. So yeah. Okay, you know what? I'll tell the embarrassing story in the next episode. I promise, guys. Embarrassing story in the next episode. I will give you a primer and let you know that it is based off of when I was in first grade. So, I promise that the thing I'm going to be talking about, I don't do today. At least, for the most part. Oh my goodness. Alright, they're firing away. Here. I think we're in a good position to replace the guys in the back now. Oh, well, that's helpful. Good job. I'm proud of you. Now, if you plant a flower pot that for some reason you don't want it in that spot, I guess you could get rid of them to replace it, but in all honesty, you might as well just keep it there. If it gets eaten, oh well. And if it doesn't get eaten, then, and at least you have a place to plant, like a potato mine or something. It doesn't really matter too much. There we go. We got a nice line of defense going here. we can see that the magnet shrooms up here are doing their jobs very, very nicely. And we're going to see just some madness going on, I guess. Nice, the football zombie made it to the front lines! But he died. But wait, aren't zombies already dead? I guess so. I had some tea next to me. I needed to drink. I'm sorry. It's been sitting here the entire hour 15 minutes I've been recording. But I just haven't been drinking out of it, so it's whatever. I guess something I could talk about real quick is in the past, like whenever I tried to record videos, I would always just be like, whenever I feel like recording, I'm gonna record, and it's gonna be great. But like because I've started uploading daily, I wanted to keep that up because I feel that's important to at least have. Because I feel like that's important to at least keep everything going. And for this episode and the last episode, because I recorded this and last episode in the same session, I didn't particularly feel like recording. So you might be wondering, well, why did I then? I'm ready to click it. Yeah, there we go. Eat that, zombies. So you might be wondering, like, why did I feel particularly inclined to record? Well, I was just like, well, for the simple reason that I should have it. Ooh, the watering can. This introduces a new feature, which I'm going to show off in the next episode. Now you can play Zen Garden mode. I'm going to show this off in the next episode. Or I'm going to show it off now, because the game's not going to let me continue on without it.
Hey, check it out. You found a watering can. In honor of this occasion, I present you your very own Zen Garden. Hey, I'll even start you off with a couple of sprouts. Grow them to full size, and then reward you nicely. Have fun!
So we just simply click on the watering can, drag it over to the plants. When it says it needs water, he needs it! He needs it! And then it'll give us money for giving it water that it needs. And then eventually, your plants need fertilizer to grow. Visit a shop to pick up some fertilizer.
Hey, welcome to the Zen Garden section of my shop. I'll give you some fertilizer for stopping by. Take a look around and see if there's anything else you might like.
Okay, so the gardening glove lets you move your Zen garden plants around. I'm not going to worry about that right this minute. It's more important for when we get other types of gardens later, so we'll talk about that later. You can buy the fertilizer here for $750, but we don't really need it because he gave us some fertilizer for free. And plant it. Oh my goodness, excuse me. That's all you can do for now. Check back later when your plants need more nurturing. Yeah, we'll just have to remember to check in on it later.
Zen Garden is pretty nifty, huh? You can visit it anytime from the main menu. But enough of that. It's time to defend your house. I have to warn you. You are going to hate this next level. Why? Because it's non-stop bungee zombie after bungee zombie. I hate those confounded bungees. I hate them. Hate them with a passion. And a vengeance. A whoopity-doo. Here come those idiots now.
Bungee zombies. Yay, they're so much fun. But for this particular level, oh boy. Alright, well I guess I'm planting a chomper right away. Okay, we'll plant some flower pots to build up our defenses here. Oh, you know what? This level is actually just chompers. That's right. So we're gonna have to plans ahead. Oh, I guess we got cherry bombs as well if we need them. But yeah, we're just going to be planting a bunch of chompers, flower pots, and cherry bombs, it looks like. So, that's delightful. So I'll have you ready. Chomp. And I think by the time that zombie gets up to it, it will be ready. Yeah, there's really no reason for there to be like different like variants of zombies, if you will, like between buckethead, conehead, and regular. I mean, there we go, perfect. So yeah, I think I'll just do this for now. And then I'll have I'll plant flower pots out here as I need them for like cherry bombing and such. But yeah, I'll have 2 rows here. I have these 2 rows in reserve in case they break through. But I have pumpkins placed out in the front here, so we should be fine on that front. But yeah, bungee zombies are no fun. I completely agree with Crazy Dave on that one. I do not like dealing with those guys. Okay, I guess I could start planting the pumpkins behind them as well, for the purposes of ladder zombies. Because that's something I don't want to deal with. I don't think you do either. Alrighty. At least we got the bop and music going on for us at least. Bum 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 ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum. Nice, we got 2 full rows going here. Alright, well we're gonna use our first cherry bomb to deal with you guys, because we have plenty of them now. So I mean, like, we might as well just plant a full new row of these guys. Let's go for it. Oh, here we go. Woohoo! Alright. And we're still waiting for you guys to swallow it up. Okay, come on, you can hurry it up now. For the love of all that is holy, please, just... Thank you very much. Okay, well I guess we're gonna be sitting here for a little while. What was I talking about? Oh, right, so, like, even though I haven't necessarily wanted to record, I was just like, I might as well... Oh, Bungie's incoming, hello! Whoop! Alright, well, I'll replace... Well, we lost then. Let's do it. Nice. See? It worked out pretty well. Now I'll hang on to the... Oh, here's one more I can plant it on, actually. There we go. Now let's hang on to anything that we get here. Plant you there. Perfect. I think we're kind of at a point here where you just kind of go kaboom! I think there's an achievement where if you can get 8 zombies within the blast of a cherry bomb, it gets you, but yeah, okay, so it's a situation like that where I'd want to use that for. And kaboom! Nice. Got those guys here. Oh, here we go. Ah, just barely too late. Okay. And kaboom! Okay. I'll use another one here. Boom! That was 5 zombies. I didn't quite get it, but that's alright. Get you. Have you ready. Plant you back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's just go for it here. Boom! Alright. Yeah, even though I didn't feel like necessarily recording, I felt it was just best for me to just go ahead and record and just see what would happen. And you know what? I'm glad that I did. I'm glad I did, because, like, I have gotten into the recording here, and even though I didn't necessarily feel like recording at the time, I'm certainly in a much, bigger mood to just keep recording. So that's pretty nice. Okay, come on. A little faster, please. Alright. Alright, forget it. Boom. Alright, I was going to try and plant that, but it didn't work out so well. Alright. Kaboom. Okay. I guess that'll work for now. I have 4 chomper zombies. Or chomper zombies. Well, chompers to eat the zombies. Bungie's incoming! Chomp! And boom! That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I won't be able to get enough in a blast, but that's alright. We'll just do that. Boom. Got 5 of those. And clear that out for kaboom. This thing here is actually a pretty interesting plan. I don't think it's going to serve me... Oh, actually, no, I do have an idea for this guy. Anyway, the garlic diverts zombies into other lanes. We'll talk about this guy in the next episode. Alright. Next time in Plants vs. Zombies, we're going to finish the adventure mode. That's right, we're getting to the end of the campaign here. See you guys next time. Bye!